What's up, everybody? This is Joseph R. Wheeler III, the artist, the founder, and the president of the ONYXCON Foundation. And you are now tuned in to a special ONYXCON exclusive where I take you on a journey through my movie collection. We're going to be talking about DVDs and classic movies that you might want to watch and add to your collection. Welcome. Gears, y'all. We keep switching gears. I'm diverse. I'm so diverse. ONYXCON, we're very diverse. Now, if you want to laugh, and I mean laugh hard, but you got to be, let me tell you something, to understand this movie and I really appreciate it, I'm not going to say you have to be an artist, but I say you're going to get more out of it if you're a visual artist especially, and if you went to quote-unquote art school. The main character, who's like this very talented artist who wants to go out and, build himself up as a visual artist in the art scene, get into the gallery scene, make a living that way, doing his art, right? But then he finds out all of the bureaucracy, all of the fakeness, all the whose ass you got to kiss and who you might have to sleep with, drink with, all this kind of mess to make it. And he realized, what this got to do with being an artist? I just want to be, And he meets this girl who's playing all of those games. She's in that world. And he's falling for her because she's the hot girl on campus, whatever, and other stuff. So that gets him chasing that carrot, and then he starts learning that world. But then there's this teacher. It makes me laugh just to say it. But man, oh my gosh, Malkovich. If you ever seen Being John Malkovich or Searching for John, that's another comedy. But that dude's hilarious, man. Malkovich is just, it's a different type of weird, dry humor with him, but his stuff be so funny to me. But his teacher character, I'm gonna give you one line from the movie. He went over to this fool's house, the young character, and he's standing in his living room looking at some of the teacher's old art before he comes out. And it's these plain paintings with just solid, crisp triangles. Different colors, but just triangles, that's it. And the kid who's not into that style, he's more into figurative art and realism and, really depicting elements of life in his work kind of thing, Really crisp drawing style, just really traditional, hardcore draftsman, somebody who can really draw anything, right? So he's looking at this and he's kind of being smart at it. He's like, triangles. And the teacher's like, he just totally went over his head. He's trying to be funny about it. And he's just like, oh yes. This Malkovich, he's like, oh yes. I was one of the first. You were one of the first people to ever to draw a triangle? You was one of the first people in art to draw a triangle. Prehistoric Africans, first people on the planet, created triangles, but you was one of the first. Like I was one of the first. Like the ego, the level of ego in this contemporary art world mind state, it's all there in that one character. It's the epitome of that kind of ego. It's the epitome. It's the epitome. I had teachers like this. It's insane. It's insane, y'all. But it's so funny if you know it, if you've ever been around it. And then the other part was, it was based obviously somewhere in New York. I really think this movie was based on my alma mater, one of my alma maters. I went to Pratt my first year of college, right? Pratt Institute, New York. Very prestigious, like considered like an Ivy League of art schools. Put it in perspective for those who don't know. And in the movie, that's the kind of school this kid goes to. But when he's looking at his catalog at home, and he's gonna be very different from my family. His family doesn't understand nothing about art at all. Versus my family has always supported me as an artist. I can never not say that. But they didn't always understand everything about that life. But they respect and they support me. Period. Still to this day, love my folk. But in the movie, he didn't get that. He had kind of family just sitting there like, are you still doing that art thing? It's not a thing, Now I do have people, friends and family, not immediate family, that have said stuff like that to me. I'm just like, oh. It's not a thing, fool. This is I know my purpose. I'm here for a purpose. What are you doing? This is about legacy. This is what I'm here to do. My star-sent legacy. This is it. And the kid is like so frustrated, like, oh, can I just get out of this house and go to school? And he's looking at the catalog, and it shows this beautiful campus, flowers and everything, and prestigious buildings, everything's kept and manicured and everything. And then it morphs to what it really looks like. And it's gritty as hell. It looked like a scene from Cyberpunk 2077. Like folks, literally like all you punk rocker kids outside, smoking hard, drinking hard. You hear bottles smashing on the ground, people fighting, sirens and shit. I said, yeah, that's Pratt. That's how the catalog was, and that's how it was when I got there. Like, yeah, down the street is Bedford-Stuyvesant. Back in the day, not Bedford-Stuyvesant now with overpriced, gentrified apartments and homes. No, back when it was, you don't go that way because you will get shot. This movie, hilarious. Okay, she's in Black Widow right now, but before she was Black Widow, or at least had her own movie as Black Widow, there was Lucy. Yeah, this movie right here. Now, again, this is one of those, it's always left to commentary. You got some, I mean, I think it did pretty good. I don't know the numbers, but I think it did okay when it came out. But you know, some folks want to act like things aren't as great as they are, and I always got something to say negative. But if there's any of that, this is just, I'm just speaking way ahead of it. It's just a great movie, y'all. Great movie. Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman. I could pretty much stop right there, right? I mean, what else you need, right? You know, legends. But, you know, she's looking hot. She's looking sexy. She's doing her cute thing, but she's a badass. And the best part about it is she literally goes from being a party girl that's the epitome of the millennial that's just wasting their life away. If they don't get caught up in the club life, something else might get them. And she ends up taking this drug, or actually is a host for transporting a drug that is so powerful that it's like digitally enhanced, but it gives you superpowers. And you know, you take one of them, it gives you a little bit of buzz and makes you feel like that for a certain amount of hours. But if you get enough of it in your body, it's usually gonna kill you. But she's just special enough in her own anatomy to be able to hold this thing, and she ends up being used as when someone is being used to transport drugs in their body. You know, you swallow a bag of whatever, or you got a whole something inserted in your gut or whatever. And that's how it was for her. It's like they put it in her guts. They knocked her out. I ain't gonna give it all away. You gotta watch the movie for that. But this is stuff you can see in the trailer if you ever get interested. Incredible sci-fi, urban action, shooter, gunplay, martial arts. Lucy, my folks. This right here, brought to you by my good friend Lamont Gant, one of the most talented independent creators in the game right now. Still doing his doggone thing. And I want to say this too. This was so good as a sci-fi independent, released through a subsidiary of a major production. GVN Releasing, which is like a subsidiary of one of the bigger boys and girls. And but his company, Lamont's company, is Creative Genius Films. It is 90 minutes of pure action, of pure sci-fi related storytelling, and it is a story that was so good it was bitten by a major TV producer who literally, you know, and this is me speaking, again, the words, views expressed by ONYXCON do not necessarily reflect those of our friends, associates, sponsors, etc. It's just my way of explaining what I know about this scenario. But basically, you know, this thing could have really went a million ways with being bit, because the show Manifest just straight up bit it. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you want more details on that, look at creativegeniusfilms.com, but Creative Genius Films on Instagram, and you will see, I think it's, that's what he's got it under. I think that's the, you know, I'm trying to remember if he got it under his name, Lamont Gant, or I think it is Creative Genius Films on Instagram. And you'll see he got some recent posts on there that just show comparisons of the show, the TV show, and his movie. And it's just damn obvious they just straight bit it, and it's a damn shame, because it's just total plagiarism of a great concept that deserves to be risen to the forefront, because this is the originator, y'all. Return. That's Blue Kimball. You've seen him in a lot of different major BET projects, a lot of other major films. He's doing his thing. Blue is out there. Salute, Blue. I see you, fam. So, yeah, Return. Make sure you check that out. Diane Kirby, my girl, Teresa Sullivan. What's up, Teresa? You know what I'm saying? These are all people I know. Some of them closer friends than others, but just people in the biz, good people to know, good people to work with. And as I say, Creative Genius Films is ONYXCON family. So, of course, yeah, with no shame, we plugging this all day. We plugging this all day. And Return 2 is something that is on the back burner that Lamont says could be coming. He already put out a teaser some years ago, so I'm not like letting the cat out the bag. The cat been running, and we're gonna run hard. Return, y'all, return. A story that's so well done, I think it's truly believable about this really being how it was for Genghis Khan, the Mongolian king that brought together the tribes of Mongolia when they were warring with each other. And once he, through all of the pain he went through, that's the thing it shows all the pain he went through as a youth and why he was so ruthless by the time he was grown, why he was so ruthless by the time he was bringing the tribes together. And it's just like, it's my way or the highway. You either gonna get with me or we ain't going nowhere. And the result was all of the prestige of what the Mongolian Empire became. So I got different sort of feelings about, celebrating imperial, because empires are still empires, but this is a different type of take on it. This really shows you, it was almost, from my understanding of what I got from this film, and then if you want to compare it to history, it would seem as if, he was born into a situation where you had no choice. You either served an army or you took over an army. And if you took over an army and became the most powerful army, it was in your best interest to maintain that power to sustain, because if it wasn't you, it's going to be somebody else. And, you just hold your crown. And it is a bloody crown to hold, but hardcore, really well done, incredible costumes, acting, the whole dang nine. And don't watch it with no subtitles. Well, watch it with subtitles, but not with a dub. This is with subtitles. I don't even know if you can get it with a dub. Hopefully not, because that would just bastardize this incredible book. Sometimes you got to read subtitles, y'all. You got to feel the essence of the culture and the people, and you only get that when you hear the language. So that's why I like foreign films like this. Sometimes I don't. I'm in a lazy mood. I don't feel like reading the bottom of the screen. And depending on what kind of movie it is, it might fit that. If it's like some pseudo made for American audiences, but from Asia or wherever else movie, where you can tell they're trying, it was made to eventually be dubbed. Okay, and I know there's movies like that. Like, we made this with the intent of it not just being here in our market. We want to take this all over the world and we want to put it in English, French, whatever. Okay, cool. But if it was this is our story, this is from our culture, and we ain't trying to pretend that any part of our stuff is anybody else's, we just doing us right now, that's what I want to see. I want to see you. You know what I mean? Like, take me on a journey. I want to travel. Mongo. Dope. All right. Let's take it back. Way back. To the 70s, baby. Oh yeah. 1973 to be exact. This is Cleopatra Jones. And when I tell you Cleo is the truth, you better believe it, Ruth. We talking about an era of real badassery. We talking about when sisters knew to get with the misters and give fools blisters for acting crazy on the block, selling drugs to the kids with all these corrupt cops. That was what Cleo was taking down, bringing it to the man. And I mean bringing it to the man. You don't believe me? In the first scene, and I ain't giving away much because there's so much more for you to understand, she burned up a whole poppy field or cross seas before it could hit a plan of the man and end up in the hands of the brother man. It wasn't going on Cleo's clock, baby. She was knocking them out and doing the axe kick. The axe kick. I'd like to say, I don't know for sure, but my man who's a wrestler, oh man, Booker T always did the axe kick, one of his famous moves. I always say he must have, I think that was an homage to Cleo, because it was her signature move. When she finished her fool off, she'd go up in the air real high with her foot, and she, it's the axe kick. Cleo, baby. Cleopatra Jones. This is the epitome of superhero comic book style movie, but serious enough. You take it seriously. I mean, yeah, the characters are over the top. Big Mama, the crazy. Like, you talk about a Karen. That's Karen on steroids. Oh my gosh. But she ran like this whole drug empire, and Cleo was after her and her minions. And boy, I'm telling you, it's like these movies, man. I love classic 70s films, black cinema. This is it, y'all. This ain't the blaxploitation. This is black cinema. Okay, yeah, it had its comedic elements, but you gotta understand that There were studios that were just all about just goofing it out, and there was folks who put in a little bit of humor, but it was still a message. It was still a political message. It was still for the people. It was still clean up your act, get your community right, respect each other. Just all the basics. It was all in there, whether subtle or in your face. But these are those movies, man. I love this woman, love this legacy. Tamara Dobson. That's Cleopatra Jones, y'all. And fine with it. Yes, she is. Hello, Cleo. All right. Let's get into some more here.